Hello, my art superstars. I'm so glad you're checking this out and ready to do some art. We're going to talk about a really great artist, Keith Haring. Remember this guy? We talked about him in first grade. And he is a lot of fun. We did the movement, people. And I'm going to read this book, but I just want you to know that you can totally fast forward and get to the end where I'm going to talk about the projects. That's great. But this is a really interesting book. He's an interesting guy. I really quickly want to give a little shout out to Dyrone, Luke, and Truman. They either said a little hello or they showed me their artwork, and that was so awesome. So remember, you can email me at lisami@provo.edu, and then I can see your artwork. So that'd be so great. Okay, let's get started on the book. Again, totally can fast forward this part and get to the projects. All right, Keith Haring, the boy who just kept drawing. Remember that book? Good old Radiant Baby. This book was written by his sister, K.A. Haring, and illustrated by Robert Newbecker. Okay, right here is a big clue as to what one of our projects is going to be. Keith Haring, the boy who just kept drawing. There was a boy named Keith, Radiant Baby. When he was little, his father taught him how to draw dogs and fish and funny things. His dad would draw a line, then Keith would draw one. Soon the whole page would be full. Another hint as to another project. From that time on, Keith never stopped drawing. In elementary school, while taking tests, Keith doodled on the edge of his paper. When he handed in his book, his teacher would ask, "Why did you doodle on this important paper?" Keith didn't answer. He just went back to his desk and just kept drawing. Sometimes Keith invited his friends to draw in his backyard clubhouse. Keith made symbols and said each one represented a letter of the alphabet. His friends asked, "Why do you use symbols to write?" Keith drew more symbols. It was his way of answering their question. He encouraged his friends to join him. Very creative kid. As a teenager, Keith liked to draw in his bedroom while music playing loud. He would draw on every piece of paper he could find. His mother had to yell over the music, "Why can't you turn that music down and go outside and ride your bike?" But Keith had sold his bike to buy art supplies, so he answered, "Look at the cool drawings I did." And he just kept drawing. Okay, this page is awesome because those are actually his pieces of art from when he was in high school. Isn't that amazing? Talented. When Keith was in high school, he won first prize for his art. A successful couple from town offered to buy his drawing. Keith said, "No, thank you. If you enjoy my art, you may hang it on your wall. No charge." Keith's sisters were shocked. "Why didn't you take the money?" they asked. Keith shrugged. He just wanted to keep drawing. Keith graduated from high school and went to the big city of Pittsburgh to a school that would teach him about art. There were boys on the street trying something new, breakdancing. He liked the crazy shapes of their bodies as they turned and flipped on the ground. While the music played loud, Keith started drawing wiggly lines. His teachers asked him, "Why are you drawing people that look like scrambled bodies? This is not what we told you to draw." Keith knew how to draw. He just wanted to draw in different ways. And he just kept drawing. Keith moved to the huge city of New York when he was 20, so he could draw with the other artists. He started to draw all over the city, on walls, on sidewalks, and on paper that hung on lampposts. His drawings were washed away by the rain or torn down by street cleaners. Other artists asked Keith, "Why do you draw in places where your pictures are erased?" Keith didn't hear them. He was searching for another wall so he could just keep drawing. Keith got a job delivering packages and sometimes rode the subway. One day he saw a panel of black paper on the wall in a station. He rushed outside to buy chalk and come back and began to draw. The white chalk made bright, smooth lines on the black paper. Day after day, Keith filled the empty panels in the subway stations with art. Soon, people who rode the subway were looking for his white chalk drawings. No one knew the name of the artist, but his drawings were easy to recognize. People asked him, "Why are you drawing here? What do your pictures mean?" He said, "What do you see? You decide what they mean." Well, where Keith lived, there was trash on the street and people didn't always say hello to each other. One day, he and his friends cleaned up 20 bags of garbage in front of a long wall. Then Keith painted square faces and smiles and body shapes dancing upside down. The neighbors liked the drawings and stopped to say thank you. A policeman came by and lectured Keith. "Why did you do this? I have to give you a ticket because you didn't get permission." Whoops! Keith paid the fine and just kept drawing. Soon, people wanted to see more of Keith's drawings, and he was asked to display his work in an art gallery. Art was hung from floor to ceiling, and in between, he painted on the walls. Keith invited everyone to come and enjoy his work. All of Keith's art sold. The gallery owner asked him, "What are you going to do with all this money?" Listen to this. Amazing. Keith said, "I read in the newspaper that there are kids who don't have enough to eat. I didn't have the money yesterday and I was happy. If I don't have it tomorrow, I'll still be happy. All children need to eat. I'll send the money to them." The gallery owner gasped, "Why?" Keith just smiled and started to draw again. Just kept drawing. Now people were inviting Keith to draw in famous museums and exhibits and galleries all over the world. He was proud that he had become a successful artist, but wherever he went, Keith insisted he paint a mural so everyone could enjoy his work, not just the people who had money to buy it. During a visit to Paris, France, Keith painted on the outside of a children's hospital 6 stories high. Newspaper reporters came to take pictures and asked, "Why did you paint on the hospital? Do you think it'll make the sick children feel better?" Keith didn't have time to answer. He had to finish the painting. When the Statue of Liberty was 100 years old, Keith drew an outline of the famous statue on a huge piece of vinyl fabric. Then he asked 900 kids to help him finish the drawing. Keith told them, "Draw anything, whatever you want. No one can say it's good or bad. It's yours." And that goes for your project today, too. When the giant painting was displayed, people were amazed to see what Keith and the kids had made, but the art critics couldn't understand why a famous artist was drawing with kids. But you know Keith, he just kept drawing. Keith painted all over the world. He would draw on anything, anytime, anywhere. Wherever he went and whatever he did, he would not stop. He just kept drawing. Now everyone wanted to know, and together they shouted, "Why? Why do you draw all the time? Why do you give your artwork away? Why do you draw on buildings, on people, on clothing, on furniture, on subway walls, on cars, on skateboards, on walls that belong to no one, and on things to be thrown away? Why do you draw on everything?" Keith stopped drawing just for a moment and answered, "I draw all the time because there are many spaces to fill. I give my drawings away to help make the world a better place. I draw everywhere because everyone needs art." Then Keith turned back to the street, took a piece of chalk from his pocket, and just kept drawing. Love it. Art is for everyone. Look at that. Okay, our 2 projects. First one, really simple, really fun, and you could do it with your whole family. That's what I did. I made a simple doodle, just a boring little simple doodle. You can make whatever you wanted. Then I copied it 4 other times so everybody in my family would get that doodle. Then I challenged them all to create something from the doodle. Want to see what they did? Because it was pretty great. Love that weird squid octopus guy. I don't know, but it's amazing. Oh, two interesting guys and like birds on between them. I love it. Or buds. Love it. Oh, this guy is wackadoo. Don't know what's going on, but it's pretty awesome. Oh, here's angry guy. Yikes, be quiet. And then this might be my personal favorite. Look at that, a roller coaster. How cute is that? Anyway, so fun. All started from a simple doodle, and it's so fun to see what your family creates and see how wacky they really are. So try that out. That's a fun one. Or you could just make one, give it to a brother or sister, and then they make a doodle and give it to you and see what you guys both create. It's pretty funny. Or you could do what Keith's dad did with him. He'd draw a line, and then he'd give the paper to Keith, and then he'd have to make something. Have you guys ever played that game before with your family? So that's a fun one. Okay, now here is my second one. You are just going to take a piece of paper. I want you to start down in the bottom, and I just want you to fill in all the space. That's what Keith Haring liked to do. He liked to just fill in the empty spaces. So you're going to start, and you are going to doodle, doodle, doodle. You could try like never lifting your pen if you want to do that. That would be wild. You could do lots of different colors if you wanted to, or you could do it very Keith Haring, just the black and white. Like his museum in New York. Look at that. So cool. All right. And I have an example of two awesome kiddos that did a great example of Keith Haring for me. See you guys later. Okay, here are Dane and Zach and their beautiful masterpiece. They doodled it up. Good job, guys.